Yo, what's going on, guys? Estee McCrawly here with another video. This time we're going to be doing some more battle spot doubles. And as you can read here at the top, it says battle spot free battle instead of rating battle. This time I was feeling a little, I don't know, what's the word, adventurous, I guess you could say. And I decided, I was like, well, why not just do some free battles, see what comes up. And I had some pretty good battles. I mean, usually free battles are more for people who are developing / testing a new team and then rating, they see how far up the ladder they can get. So I felt like I needed to play with this team a little bit, get used to the format. I remember in this my first game, I was like, wait, I saw the first game I don't have on here, but I had 3 free battles, and the first one was like the other team wasn't really much of a team, and I saw Dragon Knight. I was like, wait. I was like, oh yeah, so the first thing went to my mind is, okay, Mammal Swine is going to be a staple in this matchup, and I was like, oh wait, I don't have Mammal Swine. So I was like, what Ice Titan moves do I even have on this? So I have Hidden Power Ice with Thunderous, I have Ice Punch with Conkeldurr, so I had to kind of go through the moves again. So I felt like this was a good way to get back into the format, get used to it, refresh my memory and stuff like that. But the battles were still kind of fun. On free battle, there would be a lot more fun teams than competitive teams, which is fine. Sometimes it's nice to switch it up and have a little bit of fun. But for this first battle, my opponent had Bisharp, Azumarill, Rotom Wash, Lapras, Haxorus, and Gengar. So he didn't bring Azumarill or Bisharp, which kind of surprised me, since Fairy type moves would have been nice against my Conkeldurr and Hydreigon. But I guess he was just scared of the Rotom. And also, I kind of realized here, like, he had 3 water types. I was thinking also, oh, Tangrowth is really good. But then I was like, oh yeah, I don't have Tangrowth. So, like, going from the Sinnoh Classic back to this, it's really kind of helped me see that grass type Pokemon, or what my team is lacking. Like, a grass type Pokemon would be really nice to have, especially against like a rain team or a team like this, which is more water type Pokemon. I don't even have a grass type move on this team. So, I just learned a lot of things coming back from the Sinnoh Classic into this format. So I'm going to go ahead and get this first battle started. And I lead with Thunderous Hydreigon, since I was like, there isn't really anything my opponent can lead that like would be able to dominate both my Pokemon. If he started with one of his water types, I'd be able to have Thunderbolt. And if he goes with any of his other 3, I'll be able to get Stab, super effective, or not Stab, but super effective damage off. And here we see it's Mega Gengar, and I missed the Swagger, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. I'm not really relying on Swagger too much. And here we see the Destiny Bond, which I didn't even think Mega Gengar. It didn't even cross my mind. So it's unfortunate that Hydreigon's going to go down here. But at this point, I was like, okay, well, that's fine with me. I was honestly expecting to have a Zoomer on the back. So it's like, okay, well, that's fine. Hydreigon wasn't going to do too much to his team. And gets the free Volt Switch. So, I mean, if I got Swagger off it, like, there would have been a 50% chance that the Swagger would have meant nothing. So it's not too big of a deal. So we see he sends in his Lapras, and he's going to send Rotom right back in, which kind of confused me. I was like, well, why'd you even bother taking it out? Do you not have Thunderbolt or something? So I was really confused. And I go in here with Conkeldurr, since I didn't want to send in my last Pokemon. So I felt like Conkeldurr would have a good matchup here. So this time Swagger does land on the Rotom, and it's going to outspeed the other 2 Pokemon. It's going to hit itself in Confusion, which is nice, because most likely it's going to go for a Will-O-Wisp. And we see the Hydro Pump come from the Lapras, and I was like, I'm going to tank that. It's going to do less than half. But I was like, wow, that did a lot. And with the knockoff, I knock off the Choice Specs. I'm like, okay, that's why it did more than half. Because I'm Assault Vest, and I'm not max Special Defense, but I saw that Special Defense investment, so that did a ton of damage. So here I go for the Thunderbolt and the Rotom, and he's going to go for the... I mean, he's just spamming Hydro Pumps now. So he's going to hit Thunderous. It's going to deal... I think that was like 90 damage, but I'm going to eat up the Citrus, so I'm still going to be able to survive one more from the Rotom at least. And Lapras is going to miss its Hydro Pump. I wasn't expecting it to knock out since it was missing its specs. I was just planning on Drain Punching and restoring a whole bunch of health. So that's why I didn't go for the Thunderbolt and the Lapras, because I wanted to restore as much health as possible. So the Lapras is going to go down. We've already picked up 2 knockouts here. This Rotom hasn't gone for the Will-O-Wisp, which I found interesting. I guess it's more of an offensive one. That's why it's like going for more hydro pumps and stuff. And we see less Pokemon's Haxorus, so it's like, oh, this is perfect. He doesn't even have the Azumarill or the Bisharp, which Bisharp has given me tons of problems in the past. So here I decided to switch into my Landers because I want to get an Intimidate off on this Haxorus. Before I'm like, oh, if it goes for something like a Dragon Claw, I'll probably be able to survive. And I also get that Thunder Wave off, which is going to be nice. It's going to help my Kinkilder finish this thing off. And it goes flat out for the Outrage, and I was like, oh my goodness. So it hits Thundurus, and I was actually really surprised here that it knocked it out. Considering it was at -1, but I do see the Life Orb. I was like, it might have been close. And this Rotom has Pain Split. I'm like, ooh, okay, that's an interesting move. It's not really too effective in doubles since you, like, for example, once I take out this Haxorus with Kinkilder and Landorus, I can double target that Rotom. So I bring in my Kinkilder here again, and like Haxorus is my main problem here. So I go straight up for the Superpower. And he gets the Hydro Pump, and he's able to knock out my Landorus, which is fine. I think in a 1v1 my Kinkilder can beat out his Rotom, so that's kind of what I'm not too upset with it. And my Ice Punch lands, no chance of missing, so we're gonna knock out the Haxorus before it's able to do much besides knock out that Thundurus. So now we just got a nice 1v1 here, and it's a little bit of a tricky situation since he does have that Pain Split. And also those leftovers that we see. Those leftovers, that Thunderbolt that I hit him with has done pretty much there. He's almost got all that HP back. So I go for the knockoff here, just so he doesn't get that HP recovery anymore. And I can also survive one more Hydro Pump, but he misses anyways. So my Drain Punch goes off, and I'm going to be able to restore a bunch of the HP that he's done to me. So now it's like, the thing is he can Pain Split and stuff, but eventually I'd win out since I have Mach Punch. So he'd have to, like, because at this point, like, it depended on our HP, but it kind of sucks for him because he's not going to be able to, like, knock me out at this kind of HP. So if he goes for a Hydro Pump, you need a crit, but he's close enough to where I can just get a nice Mach Punch off and finish him off. So that's going to be, we get a somewhat a close win. We got lucky that he opted for the Pain Split instead of the Will-O-Wisp, but I guess it's part of doing the free battles. But it was cool to see more than anything. I think it was interesting, to say the least. Not necessarily, he might have been like a singles player that's starting to get into doubles, and that's why he ran that, since it's more common in singles. And today I'm feeling, or after the Sinnoh Classic, doing a whole bunch of battles. We're going to go ahead and do 2 battles today, since that one was a little quick. And we're just going to get straight into it. My opponent had a team of Kangaskhan, Superior, Aegislash, Ditto, Talonflame, and Tornadus. That was the one that was throwing me off. I wanted to say Thundurus, but Tornadus, which used to be a lot more popular because you could go with the Flying Gem boosted Acrobatics. This thing would just deal tons of damage. Flying Gem doesn't exist anymore, so it's not as good of a tactic. It's not even a tactic. So here there are a few things that scare me. This is like the first Mega Kangaskhan I've seen, I believe, as far as I remember. I might be mistaken. I might be crazy. But I feel like this team's got the tools to deal with it. I decided, or I was like, I can go for a double Intimidate. I mean, he's most likely going to lead with the Kangaskhan and either the Talonflame or the Tornadus. I don't see Superior being brought to this match since I have so much to deal with it. And the Ditto was interesting. Ditto is always interesting. They're almost always Choice Scarf. They're going to come and copy your Pokemon and deal some damage, pretty much outspeed you. So we're going to go ahead and get started now. I decided to lead with Arcanine and Landorus because I'm expecting the Kangaskhan to lead. So I want to get the double Intimidate off so it does nothing. And sure enough, we do see the Kangaskhan, and the Tornadus is right next to it. So Intimidate's not going to do anything to, most likely not going to do anything to the Tornadus. It's like a Thundurus. It's going to be there for support more than anything. And it's just really good positioning all in all. So I was actually surprised. I was expecting him to switch out the Kangaskhan since it's at -2. It's pretty much burned since it's at -2. And he goes for the Fake Out.
luckily and perfectly into Arcanine. So you're going to see that does 18 damage, and he's going to take Rocky Helmet damage twice. So that second one did nothing. He did in total less than 30 HP, and he's lost a quarter of his HP already. So this interested me, the taunt onto Landorus. Landorus is known for its offensive capabilities. Maybe he's got it confused with Thundurus. I'm not exactly sure, but we're gonna be able to deal some insane damage right there onto the Tornadus. That name's throwing me off. So he gets the Swagger off. I was thinking, like, I don't know what I was gonna go for here with Arcanine. I was thinking maybe Protect, maybe switch out, but I am able to connect with Rock Slide both times, or both times on both Pokemon, and he has the Ice Punch here, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm still gonna be able to survive because he's at -2, and it's not stab, so Landorus gets to stick around a little bit longer. And in the end, with Arcanine, I decided to go for the Flamethrower into the Kangaskhan slot. That's what I went for turn 1. In case of a switch, since it would have hit everything on his team, or not everything, it would have hit Superior for super effective, it would have hit Aegislash for super effective, and on a Talonflame switch, it still would have done decent damage. So you see the last 2 Pokemon he has are Aegislash and Ditto, which is going to copy my Landorus, and he's going to get an Intimidate off. Not the end of the world. So at this point, I have Conkeldurr and Thundurus in the back, which are going to be able to deal with both these Pokemon nicely, since I have Hidden Power Ice and Knockoff. So here I'm just like, I just want to get a free switch. That's kind of the main thing on my mind. And so he's going to go for the Earthquake here. I was like, oh, that's interesting, because usually Dittos are Scarf, so like, oh, that's interesting, he's going to lock himself in the Earthquake. And so Arcanine is confused. This is not the end of the world. I went for Flamethrower into the Aegislash slot anyways. So he's going to reveal he has Shadow Sneak, which is fine. At this point, I just want both my Pokemon to go down. I did consider switching one out to switch it back in to get an Intimidate, but I was like, it's not really worth it. I have a pretty safe win with Conkeldurr and Thundurus in the back, since they both have Ice-type moves. I can get here, and I was thinking, oh, I can easily taunt this Aegislash with Thundurus, and that'll take care of it. But then I realized I don't have taunt; I have Swagger instead of taunt. So here I'm like, there were a few things I could do, but I was like, this Aegislash is probably going to King Shield. So I didn't want to go for a knockoff into that slot, so that's why I went for the Thunder Wave here. Unfortunately, King Shield doesn't block that. I learned that from the time I used it in VGC. And here he goes for Rock. I was like, okay, so he's not Scarfed or Banned. He's not choiced in any fashion. So he's going to get the Rock Slide off. It's going to do 114 damage with Thunder, so I eat Citrus back up to 116. So depending on the roll, I might not be able to take another, but I am able to take out the Landorus with an Ice Punch. So now we had a nice 2 versus 1 right here, and as bulky as Aegislash is, I'm still able to get some nice damage off. I get the knocking off the leftovers, so he just did a little bit of health, and he goes for the Substitute. So he obviously wasn't carrying the Wide Guard, which isn't very common. There aren't too many spread moves in regular VGC. Like, you have the Landorus, which sometimes has them. But I don't think any of my other Pokemon have spread moves. And they're just really common in VGC 2016 with the Salamence, the Primals, Xerneas, stuff like that. So that second one, I was surprised my opponent didn't bring... Well, I'm not surprised. I just feel like I brought some really good Pokemon to the battle. He probably should have switched out Kangaskhan. If I knew he was going to stand, I just would have gone... Well, I'll say I would have gone for the Will-O-Wisp turn 1, but I got hit by the Fake Out anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. But the dual Intimidate lead was really good. It shut down that Kangaskhan. I feel like my opponent should have switched out, even if it meant like losing his Ditto or something. I feel like Kangaskhan is a much bigger offensive threat than the Ditto is. So that's gonna be it for this video. I haven't used this team for a while. During the Sinnoh Classic, I was only uploading the Sinnoh Classic battles, obviously, because I don't want to bore you guys with too many double battles. I've pretty much been trying to do like one singles battle and 1 doubles battle a day. Sometimes I don't come out with single battles because I can't get any good ones. Right now I'm pretty much just trying to find, like, send invites to random people on the PSS. So if you guys want to see more, you guys can battle me. I'll post the videos on here. So, but that's pretty much it. I've been trying to get singles up every day, but sometimes I just don't get any good battles. Sometimes I play against all legendaries or all unevolved Pokemon and stuff like that. So if you guys want to battle me, go ahead and let me know. Whatever format you guys want to do, it doesn't matter to me. But this Mega Metagross team's back. I didn't use Mega Metagross in either of these just because I feel like the matchup wasn't very favorable. He didn't really have any Pokemon that took super effective damage from Psychic or Steel type moves, so I feel like I didn't use it as much for that reason. But hopefully we'll get some more games where Mega Metagross will be able to make some more or give some offensive pressure. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.